All right. This day in history, August 27th, 1883, was one of the most violent and um, dramatic and terrible volcanic eruptions of all time. We're going to draw a volcano today, and we are going to have it erupt while learning the devastating facts of the Krakatoa um, volcanic eruption of 1887. So I've got washable markers today. I am going to use a Sharpie for the first part of my drawing to draw the volcano. So I'm just going to make kind of a mass here. Now we're on a small island, so I'm just going to bring it out like it goes into the land. And at the top, I'm going to make a slight dip for the caldera and have this erupt this way. I'm going to have some of these like V shapes in my volcano just to give the rock texture before I add lava. Now, the reason I'm starting with a Sharpie for the black parts, for these black parts on the volcano, is because when I make this volcano erupt, I'm probably going to take some water with a paintbrush and add that to my lava to spread the color around. And so I don't want these black parts to blend in with those black parts because a Sharpie is not washable, it's a permanent marker, and so it's not going to mix in when I add water. All right, now looking at it, I probably want to color just a little bit more. Just get this a little darker here, but I can also add some of my washable marker as well. But let's talk volcano while we draw. So on August 27th in 1883, this was the culmination of the eruption of this volcano. It had been dormant for a really long time, but it started to rumble in August and make noise and cause, some problems. The big eruption was August 27th. For the lava and the explosion, the eruption, I'm going to use all of my warm colors. So red and yellow and orange. I don't know why I grabbed my red. I'm going to start with my yellow. And I'm just going to have like squiggly, wiggly lines coming out of the caldera and probably also flowing down for lava. Something that I learned not not a long time ago, kind of recently, about volcanoes, which makes a lot of sense, is that the destructive part, did you ever play the floor is lava when you're a kid? And so you think of the lava, it's destructive. But the most destructive part is what explodes out of the volcano because you're getting a lot of debris and rocks and dust and all kinds of things bursting out of the earth. And that's actually a lot more dangerous than lava flow. And I didn't really realize that when I was younger. I'm adding orange to this explosion and pulling it kind of above all of my squiggly wiggly yellow. And then also in the lava flow, I'm adding orange as well. And I probably could have I'm going to have more red lava flow at the bottom. And so I'm not having too much yellow and orange in here yet. I might bring back some yellow. I'm not sure. So on August 27th, the volcano let out 4 gigantic explosions. And along with it, it was so powerful. The very last explosion was so loud that it's the loudest sound in recorded history. I don't know what that would have sounded like, but it sounds terrifying. And for such like for it to have it be quiet for so long, that must have been really scary for everybody who heard the loudest sound ever. I have red on top of my explosion and now also coming down into my lava flow. And this is where I'm really going to have a lot of red kind of flowing down. Um, so people heard the sound of the explosion for up to 3,000 miles. 3,000 miles. If you live in the United States, that is like hearing a sound. If you live in California, that's like hearing a sound that happened in New York. Just so incredibly loud. I can't even imagine what that would have been like. The explosions were so big that it broke apart um, the volcano and the structure of the volcano, and that's what's so dangerous. The huge cloud of ash shot up, so I'm going to add like a black cloud, so I'm kind of enveloping my whole uh, volcano in this black cloud, just making like squiggly wiggly lines up. And I can add some gray in there too, like just around the black, so that it really is this like smoky, debris filled explosion. And when this huge cloud of black ash went up into the sky, it made it very dark. It covered, kind of like when clouds roll in, but to a massive degree, covered the sky so that it was dark for 2.5 hours. That's how long. And if you can imagine, when all of this flies up, what comes up must come down. And so that giant debris explosion comes back down on the earth. It makes it gritty in the air to breathe. It covers things. And all of these volcanic parts collapsed into the ocean and created tsunamis. And tsunamis are giant mega waves. And those waves were up to 100 feet tall. And that was actually the biggest problem in terms of hurting people and causing casualties. What I'm doing now is adding water to my paintbrush and spreading out this lava flow. Can you see how all of the colors kind of blend together? And it makes it seem like the lava is flowing all the way down our volcano. Now, washable markers are just that. They're washable. I like to use them when I'm working with kids because it makes cleanup a little bit easier. But you can see I have this art mat and it often gets messy. And so I don't really mind if I make a little mess now and then. But if you need to, even with washable markers, it's a great idea to take precautions and make sure your clothes and your tabletop and everything are covered. So I'm adding, see how I can spread out. Now up here, this is why I didn't use washable black down here. I want the ash to kind of blend in with my explosion up here. So with my wet paintbrush, I'm going around and creating like an even bigger cloud. And some of that black and gray comes down into the lava that's bursting out. But I did not want that to mix in down here. This, I can see all of my Sharpie details through the transparency of the watercolor. Now, this painting volcanoes is a fun project. Volcanoes erupting is a scary thing. This is a part of history, our world history. Many people lost their lives due to the volcano and the tsunamis. And it's a solemn reminder that natural disasters are devastating. Thanks for drawing along with me and learning a little bit about what happened on this day in 1883.